Still unboring after 100 episodes. I need a nap. But I'll do it after this. If you're tired of the old cookie-cutter marketing advice and want to take your personal brand to the next level with bold, actionable strategies that truly reflect you, you're in the right place. Let's untangle your marketing mayhem with Zoe, the video confidence coach, on the Unboring Your Brand podcast. Unboring Your Brand was recorded on Wadawurrung land. And welcome, folks, to our 100th episode. We have made it! So the Unboring Your Brand podcast has reached 100. If you didn't see that in the title, you're going to see it now. So we can move from having zeros in the front of all our numbers to a 1. Yay. So the triple digits are finally here, and I am so grateful for everyone who has joined me, who has joined my clients, who has joined all of the people I have given as an example in this podcast, enjoying the wondrous tribulations on personal branding and video marketing. That is the Unboring Your Brand podcast. So I want to, first of all, give you a quick remind you of a quick flashback that back when this podcast, back, was the Do Video podcast. I want to specify Do Video as in D-U-D-O video podcast. Now, as you can imagine, I never showed up in SEO because video podcast showed up in SEO, not Do. And I didn't have a great mark. I didn't have a great name. And since then, there has been 3 name changes of the podcast. So thank you everyone for sticking with me on that one. The sweat, especially, the tears and the breakdowns, and the achievement that we have been able to achieve, the goals we've been able to achieve. So I want to thank you everyone for the ride, and I've loved almost every minute of it. But I wanted to do a quick thank you list to everyone who has supported me, not just with the podcast, but also with the business and what I've been doing at the Video Confidence Coach. A big thank you to my listeners, my watchers, my mentors, and my clients. So going through that list nice and quick for everyone, I wanted to have a quick thank you for whether you either listened to one episode and you're just here for the celebration, be it grab yourself a champagne or a hot chocolate, depending on what time it is in the morning for you. Or if you're able to binge a whole lot, and if you are hello superfan, make sure you reach out to me. I want to give you a special gift because I'm always a fan of my superfans. I wanted to thank you for putting me in your ears every week, and it has been a little bit of a struggle to make sure that this podcast is out every week, and sometimes I've been a little bit lax on my upload schedule, but I want to thank you for sticking with me. And for the watchers who have been watching on YouTube or on our website, vcc.training, you legends have been sitting through all of my hand waves and facial expressions, and I wanted to thank you all for enjoying the visual aspect of our podcast that I provide. My apologies for not providing a whole bunch of visuals and a whole lot of editing to keep you engaged, but I wanted to thank you nonetheless for enjoying the Unboring Your Brand podcast with that human connection that we're able to have together. So I wanted to thank you sincerely for that. I wanted to thank my mentors and all of the people that I have both inside and outside of my business to support me to keep going on not just this particular endeavor, but also keep going in business. And that's something that I don't want to just toss away frivolously. I wanted to sincerely thank the people that have supported me through this business. It is not easy running a business. There is a reason why there is a lot of support networks. There is a lot of people out there, and I am always happy to mentor people through the small business process. You just have to make sure that you get in contact with me first. And a final thank you to my clients for you're the reason this podcast exists, and for every question that you've asked and that I've answered, and then I've taken the notes, put them in my catalog of questions to answer, and here we are. I wanted to thank everyone who has been with me in this journey and allowed me to achieve what we've achieved today. Not just 100 episodes of a podcast, and not just little snippets that go on the website or social media, and not just a video, which you might be watching if you are, but you've made having this conversation real, and it has made me feel less like I'm just yelling into the void when I'm trying to help and engage and help people achieve their personal branding, their video marketing dreams. And that's what I'm here for. And I sincerely thank you for helping me get, not just me, but us all. I had to be inclusive here. I thank you, all of us, for coming on board and getting us to 100 episodes. That was a lot of editing, scripting, tech fails, flubs, and at least on my end, a lot of caffeine. Most of the time I was trying to keep things consistent because if you may not know, that one of the services I provide is helping produce a podcast like this. There's been a couple of clients that we've gotten to like the 50s or the 60s, and then the podcast itself is evergreen, so it's served its purpose, and they haven't reached any more than those triple digits because they don't need to. But for this podcast, I personally want to keep it as an opportunity for me to stand here, talk to you, help you, support you the way that you need to without any interruptions. Aiming for 20 minutes, mostly longer because I yap, but I want to thank you for helping us make it. And to specifically touch on a couple of people who have checked in or checked on me when I've been changing the names of the podcast. Yes, 3 name changes is a lot, but keeping in mind that I have been running this podcast for a very, very long time. I officially started the podcast back in, say, 2017, 2018, and it's been an on and off project and been an on and off love, mainly just to do with my personal circumstances and the energy that I have and who I'm working with at the time, and giving myself that systems to be able to consistently do this work and be there to support you in this method. Not saying that having a podcast is the be all and end all. Of course, if you know anything about video marketing and personal branding, there is always more to do. But this is honestly the pinnacle that I like to start off. This chance to engage, this chance to answer the question and spark a conversation. I'm always here to chat. I'm always here to answer your questions. And so always make sure that you never be afraid to reach out. I do not judge. Always happy to help you in whichever way you need to be done. And sometimes that might require payment for time spent. That's going to happen when you run a business. But I've always got plenty of tools in my toolbox. I've got articles. I've got plenty of, I've got my camera color corrector card for those who are interested in watching. So if you are watching, click the link below. And if you are listening and you don't know what I'm talking about, click the link below and you will find it. And you will find more details about that. I'm so proud of this. And it's a free tool that I send you real actual mail. So check that out below. And I'm getting distracted. So going on the name change thing, I've had a couple of people understand that I was able to keep that consistency when I changed the name of this podcast because it always had my face on it. So I wanted to thank you for going along with me on that journey whenever I was making those changes, because it felt a bit scary, to be honest, about making those changes. And it was always going to be temporary. But I thank you for sticking with me and knowing that now the Unboring Your Brand podcast is the brand that will stick. And because your branding should never be beige, we'll give you a chance to keep that in your noggin as the next 100 episodes progress. And by episode 200, who knows, we may have more, see more things, have more regularity, may have less regularity. I don't know. That is what these next 100 episodes are going to be about. We're going to find out together. So in regards to what is next, because I need to wrap up this episode at some point, Zoe, what is next? And because it's only going to get bigger for us, we are not going to slow down. We are going to keep going and keep hitting the groove, because I have finally found a system and a process to creating these podcasts consistently, having them edited, having them scheduled, having them output and being released on time. consistently. That is a process that I have been able to do, and I want to thank everyone for being on that journey with me. So we release at 6 a.m. Wednesdays, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, of course, it's going to be different depending on where in the world you are, but if you have automatic downloads, I will be there. And if not, as soon as you refresh on a Wednesday morning, no matter where you are in the world, I will be there for you every Wednesday. We will have more episodes, sharper topics, so more distilled topics regarding personal branding and video marketing. Those are my two niche areas that I'm really clear, and the obviously the connection between the two. I'm going to have more opportunities to have a better delivery, maybe less mumbling. Not entirely sure about that. And of course, I'm going to do my best to give you more value, give you more opportunities to think not just about your personal brand or your business, but how you present yourself to the world, and how you use the tools in front of you to be able to achieve your goals, no matter what they might be. Get your message out there to the right people. That's what I'm here for. So we might be sprinkling some guest episodes in the future here and there, but to be honest, I am contemplating maybe generating a different podcast specifically for guest episodes. I have a bunch of guest episodes lined up. So in the feed, you might be hearing, or you might be coming across in the podcast feed, some teasers or some trailers for other episodes that I am guesting on over this early 2026 period. And I want to thank you if that's your jam. And if that's not your jam, that's okay. Don't download it. Don't listen to it. It is perfectly fine. I want to be there to make sure that I'm there for you, and utilizing the skills and the tools that I have at my disposal to be able to help more and more people, and in turn guest on other people's podcasts so that they know that they can achieve what they need to achieve. So you're probably going to come across that in a little bit over the next couple of episodes, but ultimately I will have another podcast specifically for those guest episodes. I endeavor to always be answering your personal branding and video marketing questions, so make sure you send them in. If you comment on a video, if you send an email, yes, I do read emails. I am very, very on top of my emails. Oh, I've had a couple of people send emails through being like, hey, you may have missed this. And I'm like, no, I didn't miss this. You're spam. I'm just going to get rid of you. Ultimately, the website vcc.training will always be the hub of truth. That is where everything is updated first. That's where everything about the Video Confidence Coach and what it can do for you, because that's what it's about. It's all about you and what it can be done and what it can do for you. It will always be there. It'll always be the hub of truth. So make sure you check out that website if you're needing anything regarding personal branding or video marketing, or again, the bridge of the two. I'm still working out the word or the series of words that connects those two. So if you have a word that comes to mind when you think about video marketing and personal branding, let me know, because I would definitely like some support and help in that front. And my final words for now, as we finish off this podcast episode, is that the Unboring Your Brand podcast that you were listening to now, if you got a bit bored, is a podcast that isn't just about video marketing or branding. It's about showing up, being real, and making it fun. Because we're on this life for such a short time, but also terribly and insufferably long. For all of my Jenna Marble fans, you can feel that quote too. I want to make life fun. And even when, say, marketing yourself or your personal brand is not fun, I want to endeavor to have you enjoy yourself during this process. If you know anyone who's feeling meh about their personal brand, or doesn't even know what to do with video, or they've been told that they need to do it, but they have no idea where to start, send them my way. You've got all my details. Video Confidence Coach, Zoe Wood. Put it into a chatbot, put it into a Google or a Bing. I will be there. Yes, Bing is still a thing. Surprising amount of work there. And here, let me get my drink with the branding at the front and the back. Here's to the next 100 episodes, and let's make them even unboringer. Make sure you rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Unboring Your Brand podcast. Thank you for listening or watching Unboring Your Brand. You can find detailed show notes with tools, offers, and episode transcriptions. Just click the first link in the description or go to vcc.training/podcast. Get involved and ask me anything about personal branding, video strategy, or just a friendly small business chat via my email, g'day@vcc.training. That is gday@vcc.training. The Video Confidence Coach would like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which I record my podcast. I pay my respects to their elders past and present. I stand with the traditional custodians of these lands in working towards a more equal future. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Look forward to me chatting at you next week, superstars.